Welcome back to Not the Right, your favorite place for breaking down the weirdest political happenings of the week. I'm Natasha, and as always, I'm joined by my trusty co-host, Nick.
Hey everyone, buckle up, because this week we're diving into the wild conspiracy theories flying around about Hurricane Helene with none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene at the center of it all. And folks, you might want to put on your tinfoil hats for this one, because we're going full throttle into the world of weather control conspiracies.
Yeah, leave your critical thinking and logic at the door, because apparently the US government is out here messing with the weather, according to Marjorie, anyway. So, in case you missed it, the congresswoman from Georgia has once again stirred up controversy. This time, she suggested the government can control the weather, just as Hurricane Helene was wreaking havoc across the country.
That's right. In a post shared with her 1.2 million followers on X, she said, and I quote, "Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done." Now, let's be real. Whenever Marjorie Taylor Greene starts a sentence with, "yes, they can," we know it's time to throw on our conspiracy goggles and brace for impact.
Absolutely. And she didn't stop there. Greene followed up by posting a video clip from a 2013 CBS News broadcast where they talked about experimental efforts to use lasers to induce rain and lightning. But she somehow got the year wrong and claimed it was 9 years ago, which is just the cherry on top of this tinfoil sundae.
You know, Natasha, it's moments like this where I wonder, does Marjorie just have a closet full of tinfoil hats that she passes out to her followers? Because she's managed to stir up some wild ones before. Remember the whole Jewish space lasers incident?
How could we forget? It's like she's playing conspiracy theory bingo. But here's the kicker, Nick. While Greene's spreading her wild theories, people are suffering. Hurricane Helene has caused real devastation, and relief workers are out there trying to help those affected. FEMA's top official, Deanne Criswell, even had to step in and call these claims ridiculous and just plain false. Can you imagine having to fight not just a natural disaster, but also a storm of misinformation?
Exactly. It's as if conspiracy theories have become the new political currency. Sean Harris, who's running against Greene, slammed her for distracting from the fact that she was trying to block FEMA funding at the worst possible time, while the hurricane was hitting Georgia.
It's infuriating. And while her state is reeling, guess where she was? Attending a football game in Alabama with Donald Trump, of course. She was seen enjoying herself at the University of Alabama's home game while Hurricane Helene was still ravaging parts of Georgia. Priorities, am I right?
Nothing says, "I care about my constituents," like bailing on them to watch college football. You know, it's moments like these where I'd love to ask Greene, do you really believe this stuff? Or is this just a distraction to keep people talking about you?
Exactly. And the kicker here is that real experts are being forced to debunk this nonsense. Meteorologist Ryan Mao had to step in on X to fact-check Greene, essentially saying, look, there are conspiracy theories that sometimes have some truth behind them, but this one is definitely not one of them.
And honestly, how many times do we have to say this? The government is not controlling the weather. FEMA isn't some secret weather-modifying organization. It's out there saving lives, rebuilding communities, and trying to deal with real-world problems.
But hey, if you've got your tinfoil hat on, logic isn't exactly the first tool you're reaching for, right? It's all about creating fear and confusion. That's what Greene does best. Throw out wild accusations, sit back, and let the chaos unfold.
Yep, and of course we had sports legend Martina Navratilova weighing in, calling Greene even more stupid than we thought possible. She also called out J.D. Vance for being a sycophant for backing Greene's comments. When tennis stars are dunking on you politically, you know you've gone off the deep end.
Exactly. It's not just politicians who are fed up. People from all walks of life are saying enough is enough. And yet, these theories keep spreading, distracting from the real issue at hand, helping those affected by Hurricane Helene.
Well, I guess this is where we sign off by saying, folks, take off the tinfoil hat, step back into reality, and let's focus on what matters. Natural disasters aren't political games. And no, the government isn't controlling the weather with lasers.
That's all for today's episode. If you want to know more about how FEMA is actually helping people, we've linked some resources in the show notes. And, as always, stay tuned for more breakdowns of the absurd political landscape.
And remember, you can subscribe to Not the Right wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those tinfoil hats polished and plugged in.